everyone, I'm MaryAnn. I'm a visual artist and voice coach from Singapore, currently in Singapore, and welcome to another installment of my weekly vlog series, Live Your Dream. So if you're someone who has a dream and you want to make it come true and you're not quite sure how to get started, or you've already started taking action and you are feeling stuck and you're feeling like, oh my gosh, this journey is just so difficult and maybe I should just go and do this other thing which seems so much more easier and more practical instead. Well, this series is where I share what I am learning in my journey so far as someone who is pursuing my dreams and going after whatever it is that really matters to me, trying to craft a worthy and meaningful purpose for myself and living the best life that I can possibly live. So I'm here to share what I'm learning along the way. Definitely don't have all the answers, but at the very least, I will be here every single week sharing something so that in the hopes that it will inspire, motivate, or encourage you to keep going on your journey. And at the very least, you know that by seeing me showing up here every single week, you know that there's someone else out there in the world who is also going through the same stuff that you are in terms of the struggles that you have when it comes to pursuing your dream, so you are not alone. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments, or you can also directly message me through any one of my social media links which are in the write-ups attached to these videos. So for the past 2.5 weeks, I have been working on my 100-day daily new illustration challenge project that I've set for myself as a goal to create 100 new illustrations over 100 days. As a way of figuring out my new art series. And this new art series is something that has been kind of in my space, and there's a lot of inspiration, a lot of ideas for many months now, but I keep second guessing myself and I keep slowing down my own progress and keep fearing that, am I doing the right thing if I were to draw it this way or draw it that way, like what do I do here? And I decided, you know what, enough second guessing, enough delaying this whole thing. I'm just gonna do like a daily 100-day project, because then I have to make sure that I just get things done and not think so much. And this is also my way of pushing out whatever ideas that have been coming to me, instead of holding on to them, fearing that somehow that I would mess things up or that I would run out of ideas. And this is one of the things that I'm realizing over the last couple of weeks. It's that I'm starting to fear that I would run out of ideas. And I will not lie, I mean, the first week or so of this project was a lot easier, because it's like, I have all these ideas and inspiration that I haven't actually sat down and put into a tangible form. So it was very easy to just get started and like, okay, I have these ideas, let's just get them out there. And then now that I'm currently working on day 19 and 20 of this series, it's like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I will have any ideas for the next week. Like, what do I do then? And this is where it came to my awareness that this is one of the exact things that actually stops me from really going all out in pursuing my dream. Not just in this project, but even in other art projects that I want to do, even in anything that I want to take on. Somehow there's this fear that I would run out of ideas, or run out of resources, or run out of opportunities. In a nutshell, basically, I was operating from what some of you might know as a scarcity mindset, where we fear that there are limited resources out there, and so whatever it is that we have now, we better like hold on to them and make sure that we don't lose them somehow. But this is actually something that stops us from really believing in our own limitlessness, our own possibilities, because the moment you start thinking that you're only deserving of these 3 opportunities that you have right now, and then because of that you can't fully embrace them and you can't fully give your all to develop them, and you're kind of like just keeping them on the back burner in case there's nothing else out there, or out of fear that there's nothing else out there for you. Then you're really stopping yourself from making things happen. Because what I'm realizing over the last 2.5 weeks is that, okay, I've had these like images, pictures that I've been saving for months, for weeks, for years as an artist now, kind of like in my inspirations folder, and then I never do anything about them. Like, I just keep them in there because it's like, oh, okay, maybe one day this might inspire me. Sometimes I do look through them and I get inspired and I create an artwork out of that, but it hasn't been very consistent. And now that I have this 100-day project, it's like, okay, for the last week, like 3 of these ideas have been turned into artworks because I basically didn't know what else to draw. And then I realized that even when I think that I'm running out of ideas and I'm freaking out a little bit that I'm running out of ideas, that actually when I really sit down and think about it and sit down and allow myself to get connected to whatever, creative higher power beings there are out there, or to look at other images online, I found that really there is no limit to the ideas and the inspiration that we can have. The limitations that we think we have, we are the ones that have created them for ourselves for whatever reason. Well, most of the time it's out of self-preservation. That's what I realized. It's our own warped idea of self-preservation, and so we kind of put certain limitations on ourselves to protect ourselves from losing something without realizing how it's actually stopping us from moving forward and from pushing ourselves out of our comfort zone so that we can grow as a person, so that we can evolve as a person, so that we can get one step closer towards whatever it is that we are called to, whatever it is we really want, whatever it is that truly matters to us. And once I started to see that, I feel like, I'm starting to understand that, okay, maybe there is a different way to go about this as an artist. Instead of coming from a place of my own limits or what I think are my limits, maybe it's really about letting that well run dry. Like, since I'm so afraid of the well running dry, why not I intentionally run it dry and then see what happens? Since, it's kind of like, if that's the place where I'm most afraid to go right now, or have been most afraid to go for many years now as an artist, then maybe all the more I should just go there and see what is there. And maybe also, now that I'm speaking of this using the well metaphor, maybe the whole point also is to, drain all the water out of the well so I can actually see what is right there at the bottom. Because until all that water is gone, I wouldn't know what's right there in the bottom, right? Yeah, so perhaps that's what this whole journey is really about for every single one of us. That, whatever ideas that come your way, whatever resources that you have, it's really about maximizing them. Not saying to take advantage of whatever it is that you have and make use of people. I mean, not in a bad way, of course. I mean, it sounds bad the way you say it, right? But it literally is about that. It's whatever resources you have, whatever opportunities that you have, whatever, whoever it is that who could help forward you in your journey, go and use them. Go and make use of them. Again, not in a bad way, but go and make use of them from a functional standpoint. Use up these resources that you have. Let that well run dry. Because until that happens, we wouldn't know what new things could actually come our way. There's something I learned from my teacher and mentor, is that if you have a cup, right, and your cup is filled with water, and you are so scared of losing that water that you want to keep your cup full every single time, then nothing else can go into that cup because it's already full. It's like if you were to pour more water into it, you can't, because it's going to overflow. And in order for us to learn something, in order for us to be able to experience something new in life, we have to be able to let go of our attachments to what it is that we think we currently know, what we think we currently understand about our current situation. Empty that cup such that when it is empty, something new can enter that space, something forwarding can enter that space, and we would never know where that could take us if we are holding on to what it is that we are afraid that we're going to lose because it took us so long to get what it is that we already have right now. So whatever it is that you have in your cup right now, find some way to use it up. Whatever talents you have, whatever resources, whatever connections you have who have offered to help you with something, find some way to take them up on whatever it is and use them. Use them in a way to forward you in your journey, forward whatever it is that truly matters to you and whatever it is that you really want to work on. Because trust me, you already have connections and resources at your fingertips. Most of the time we are afraid of losing them, and that's why we don't want to touch them. It's like we want to save them for another time. But I can tell you there is no better time than now to do whatever it is that you need to with them, such that you can move forward closer towards your dream. So if you have questions, feel free to ask them in the comments, and if you have enjoyed today's video, subscribe to my channel on YouTube, and I will see you next week.